Yeah, good evening, everyone. First of all, let me introduce speaker for the today, Prashant Roy. Prashant Roy did his master's from MTech in Embedded Systems from VIT, and since then he has been working within various roles. Started with Penetration Analytics back in 2015. He left Penetration after 4 years in the position of AVP Data Science. Post that, he was working for a while with Gartner in their quantitative analytics team. For last 2 years, though, he has been with SAS, and he's working as pre-sales analytics consulting, helping other firms to realize their AI projects and how to bring about AI and machine learning in their projects. And today he will be walking us through his experience and in general talking about what data science is and how it is being used in industry. About me, I started my career as a credit risk analyst after graduating from IIT Kanpur back in 2008. I did my master's from ISI Calcutta in year 2012, and and then worked as a data scientist in various startups and different companies. For last 10 years, around 9, 10 years though, I have been into AI and machine learning capability building for organizations as well as various individuals. And we have been doing this as part of Advancer. Coming to what Advancer is, Advancer is a venture started by me and my co-founder Atarsh, who is I am Lucknow alumnus. We started this to provide, as I said earlier, for individuals and for organization data science and machine learning education. We are part of Global University Systems, which is a $1 billion global higher education powerhouse. We are one of, within Global University Systems, we are one of India's leading data science and AI training providers. We have personally conducted trainings across 100 plus organizations and trained more than 10,000 individuals so far. And these courses that we deliver are in partnership with many local to Indian institutions as well as global platforms such as IT Kanpur, UPS Dehradun, London School of Business and Finance, Coursera, Idology, and IBM. Okay. And I think without much further ado, I'll hand over to Prashant. Over to you.
Thanks, Lalit.
Let
I
me.
hope I am audible. Just checking.
Yes, you are. Although a little faint, Prashant.
Okay, give me a second. Let me try to increase my volume from here. Is it better now?
Yes, yes, it is. And I've
Okay.
made you a presenter,
Uh,
so you can start sharing your screen
sure.
whenever you're ready.
Let me start with presenting my screen first. So I have
We
clicked
can
on
see your screen.
share. Okay, great. Let me go here and also put it in presentation mode. Okay. Hello, everyone. And thank you so much for um, joining the webinar. And next, maybe one and a half hour, I will try to summarize my experience, try my best to introduce everyone to data science, what all I have learned in these 7 years of experience. I will try to pass it on to you guys. And of course, I want this to be a very engaging session. So feel free to ask me any questions, whether it's about career, about kind of job roles are there. And I have created a structure through which I will introduce data science through multiple segments. Wherever you guys find that I need to spend more time or there are more questions you guys have, please feel free to stop me. I will try to go very slow, but still if there's any if there's an issue with speed, if there's issue with my voice and all, please let me know. Okay, great. So today's topic is demystifying data science. Why is there a need of demystifying? So there are a lot of buzzword and there are a lot of buzz which is going on in the industry around data science. It is mostly because there are lots of jobs in the data science. Yes, the salaries in data science are one of the best salaries in the industry. Yes, that is also true. It is marked as, it is tagged as the best job to have in 2020 and late after that. Yes, that is also true. That is why there are lots of buzz which is getting created, and there are lots of noise also which is there in market, which stops us from doing our best in data science world, which I have also learned hard way. It's not that I was trained in my school and in my college about the data science. It it we have to go through a process of industry experience to learn, to understand what are the nuance in the data science. And that's what we are going to do today. I'm going to share all those things that will help you to start your journey, to start your career, or to enhance your career with data science. So I have been already introduced by Lalit. So yes, I like to introduce myself as a data science professional. That's who I am, right? Let me try to see if I can hide this control. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I want to introduce myself as a data science professional. I've been in the industry for more than 7 years now. My journey had startups, big MNC corporates, but everything, whatever I have done, is in the space of data science. Also, during these tenure, I have been lucky to spend some time as a speaker and trainer as well. So I have been speaker at many conferences across the globe. One of the example was I was speaking at InsurTech Rising Boston, and when I was in US, I was also connected to University of Connecticut for running their summer projects. And then I've been also a data analytics trainer. That's you can call it my hobby. I love data science, so I want to spend time training someone who wants to get into data science. So that's kind of my hobby. I love to do that, and I've been doing it over past 4 years now. And of course, the number of students can be more than 300. I cannot count in just a number. Right. So definitely, we would also like to hear about everyone, but yes, we have lots of people, so we cannot go one on one and and let everyone introduce it. So what I have done is I have some polls which I want everyone to fill in, because I don't want this to be just a one-way communication where I'm speaking something and everyone is just listening, and maybe after an hour everyone will forget. So let's make it engaging. Everyone, please go to this link, which is slido.com, slido.com, and the code you are going to find is 050790. Please put this code. I will make live some questions which will help us to understand you better. So please do that. Please log in here and let's make it as engaging as possible. So let's engage through chat box. Let's engage through polls as well. So please go to slido.com. There will be a question which is coming. I just want to know the kind of audience we have. What is the education background which we have? So we want to understand that. So please go to slido.com and put this event code 050790, and there we will start getting some. You will get a question and you can put your answers. Okay, I have started getting some answers. I have got one answer, and we have one from BTech. Great, I have started getting lots of answers now. Now this is getting interesting. We have one Masters of Engineering, then we have engineer, lots of engineers, one from BCom, and someone is postgraduate. I would also like to know the stream. Okay, two postgraduate. Okay, great. Okay, okay, someone is from sales as well. Interesting. Okay, then we have ITIL certificate. Great. We have people from pharmacy also. M Pharma. Very good to have you. Very happy to have people from different backgrounds. Banking, great to see people from different industry also joining in. Okay, I will definitely make sure I will give some examples from banking industry also, which will help you understand how data science will fit um, in banking industry. Okay, inclined to marketing, that's good. Okay, Okay, let me do that. Yeah. Okay, master of social work. Okay, great. So different domain altogether, different education background, inclined to marketing. Great. So if you see this, this is a clear indication that data science is not for only one kind of professional. It's not only for a commerce background people. It's not only for a statistician. It is not only for engineers. It is for everyone. Whether you have done a pharmacy degree or a marketing degree, or you want a sales, you have done a BCA. Yes, uh, data science is inclusive. Everyone has a good role to play in data science. So good to have people from different background. Just one more question I wanted to ask here so that I can contextualize my presentation. This of course has helped me to know that people are there from different backgrounds. It's not that everyone is from technical. So let me stop this poll, and I'm starting another poll. Let me clear this result. Yeah. So please go to again the same link. The question will be changed now. I just want to know from the audience that what kind of experience level you guys are having. Okay. So we have mostly people from 10 years plus of experience till now. Yeah, which is good. So already 9 people have voted. 4 to 10 years, amazing. So we have a lot of people with experience. We have also few freshers. We will also try to put light on what is in there for fresher, how a fresher can get into a data science role. We will definitely do that. And even for experienced professional, I will try my best to give all the insights, um, what is required for you to maybe switch your career to data science, or even if you want to enhance your current job role using data science. Those things also I'm going to cover. Okay, I think this poll helps. We have freshers, we have 1 to 4 years of experience. So mostly we have experienced people, few freshers, but mostly on the skewed toward the right hand side. Okay, good to see that. Okay, one last thing I want to understand before I start my presentation. Uh, why are we learning data science? Why do I want to learn data science? What is my objective? Right. This is will also help me to contextualize the examples I'm going to give, even the material that I have to start career in data science. Okay, switch to data science role. Yes, I think this is the most prominent answer which I have been hearing in the industry, that we want to switch to data science role. Maybe I started as a marketing professional or a sales professional, but then sooner realized that my interest is more toward data science, so I want to switch to that. Great. Okay, enhance my skill set. Okay, okay, use data science knowledge in my current role. Yes, that is also possible. That is also possible. It's not that even if you are just a sales professional, still you can use data science in your current role, and you will be booming your career with that. Yes, that's possible. So that is also a valid answer. But many people are saying to start my data science career. Okay, okay, great, cool. So based on this poll, I understand that we have people from different backgrounds. Today's audience is more skewed towards experienced professionals, but yes, we do have some freshers also. And mostly the audience want to start their data science career. And we have people who want to use, let's say, data science knowledge in their current role also and enhance their skill set. Okay, fine. So thanks everyone for engaging and doing this effort to go on website and giving your vote on the polls. That means a lot. So now let me go to what I had to cover. But let's not make it a monotonous one. I don't want to be the only one who's speaking. So please feel free to maybe unmute yourself and or maybe put a question on the chat box. It will help me to answer any question which you have. Okay, great guys. Let's start with defining the data science. And when I was making this slide, I was facing lots of difficulty because data science means so many things to so many people. But the best thing that I could write is that a data science is practice of mining data set, right? Both structured and unstructured, to identify patterns and extract actionable insight. And I have color coded identify patterns and extract actionable insights, right? So these are the two outputs of a data science field, right? Either you identify some patterns. Patterns can be anything. Like if you're Amazon, you want to find out what is buying pattern of tier 1 cities, metro cities, and what is the buying pattern of tier 2 cities. That's also output or objective of a data science solution. If you are working in a bank domain, if you want to identify a trend or pattern of people who are defaulting on their loans, data science can help. If you want to identify any pattern of customer who is good customer for a credit card, who has a good payment history of a credit card, again, data science is the answer. All these use cases are very much live and very much at the top of the CXO level people. And finally, extract some actionable insights. Right? If I just give you some insight which you cannot take action on, let's say I give you some insight that okay, on the moon, if you grow some potato, it will be much sweeter. How I'm going to use it? No business is interested in any insight which are not actionable. So we have to always give some actionable insights. Actionable insights is like I gave some examples on banking industry. I gave example that we can find a pattern of people who generally default. Now, if you convert it to something and give a group of customers or a profile of those customers, which are good customer, which we should actually give loan to, then it's an actionable insight. Or you create a profile of people who generally default and the company should not give loan to them. This is an actionable insight. A business can take some action and basis that action, I'm going to generate some business value. That's the whole goal, guys. Data science is not a research field. It is a real money making or a revenue industry. It's clear. Data science has become popular because businesses has found out that you can make money from data science. Let's be honest, that's the truth. Data science has been in the world even in 1900 century also. Yeah, it was there. We always had regressions. We always had statisticians working and creating many algorithms. Linear regressions are not new things. Regressions are not new things. All these algorithms were always there. But now the buzz of data science, why there's a race of hiring the best data scientists in all the organization is there. Because they have realized that if I use the data science, I can generate revenue. I can generate money. And when they realize that, then organizations and enterprise have gone crazy. They already had these huge amount of data, right? Banks, insurance industry, all these industries always had huge amount of data. Now, why? If I ask the professional who is in the banking industry, he will clearly say that I have regulations, right? I have regulations. RBI says that I have to save the data. It's not that I get a data and I can delete it. It's not like that. Banking is a regulated industry. Insurance is a regulated industry. Pharma sector is a regulated industry. So storage of data was always a mandate. But because of the storage cost, data science or data was always treated as a liability because you have to spend millions of dollars of rupees just to store your data. Then it obviously it will become a liability for all the enterprises. But once this liability, once data science proved that you can convert this liability to a business opportunity, the whole data science world boomed. Then all the enterprises wanted to use data science because they already had so much data stored somewhere in their databases. Nobody knows what to do with it. They were just paying money to storage companies, infrastructure companies just to store the data. But then what happened? Data science came in and they said that, yes, I can use your data to identify patterns and give you actionable insights. And then this boom actually started. I have something on chat, so let me open it. You can put your questions. Okay, great. Yeah, right. So that's what happened. We realized that data science can generate revenue for enterprise, and then everyone is in the race of hiring best data scientists. Now, data science is so good. Why don't we have these subjects in let's say a whole degree course in our graduation, right? I took a poll, right? What is your education background? And everything was around BCom, BTech, B Pharma, M Pharma, and all. Data science is not a pure field, right? It's an interdisciplinary field. You cannot have only knowledge of one field and become a data scientist. It's an interdisciplinary field. And the foundation of data science include this Venn diagram that you see on the screen. It has three main components, or you can say three main foundations. Coding, or you can also say as a computer science. I've also written it here. Foundation, first element, very important element is computer science. Second element is statistics or mathematics. And the third is the domain. If you combine these three foundational knowledge or field of study, these are field of study, then you will find data science at the center. Right? So you can define data science like this. Data science is an interdisciplinary field which combines these three foundations: computer science, mathematics, and domain. Now, computer science everybody understands. Mathematics, statistics, everyone understands. But domain, whenever I show this Venn diagram, one question comes at me is, what is this domain? Domain is nothing but industry knowledge, industry in which you are working, industry for which you are developing solution. That is the domain. And without that, data science cannot be applied. A data science solution, which is a very good solution for pharma industry, might not work for banking industry. And a good solution for banking industry might not work for logistics industry. Till the moment you have the knowledge of the industry, the domain, the context of the business added in your solution, till that you are not going to create a good solution. I call domain as a salt in your recipe. You can build the best recipe of the world, but if the salt is missing, nobody is going to eat it. Similar to data science, you can be the best coder in the world, you can be best statisticians, you can build best machine learning models even without domain, but till the time you add the flavor of domain, the salt in your recipe, the business is not going to eat it. They are just going to reject it because for them it is not making sense till the time it is contextualized to domain. Yeah, Vedika, we have many examples I'm going to share. In pharma industry, of course, there are lots of statistical tests that needs to be done. Then only any medicine or vaccine can be rolled in the market, right? So, and COVID is the biggest example. We have seen that there were many tests which was run, clinical tests, and there were so many tests which was run. It's statistics, it's data science, right? And nowadays people are also developing some algorithms which can predict whether you have a cancer or any um, disease. So data science is very, very much applicable in pharmacy. And because I'm coming from SaaS, and SaaS is strongest in pharma industry. So I can say that pharmacy industry, I can say that it has been the leader in data science. Not only it has or not, the question is actually the pharma industry has been leader in data science. The way pharma industry uses data science, I think no other industry are using right now. Pharma industry is using data science at different level. We will come to that, Vedika. We have some examples we will see. We'll come to that. But I think let's do it at a later stage when you have, when I give all the clarity around data science, and then I will give an example of use cases in different industry. But I hope I have given some hints or some light on your question. Okay. Any question on this, on seeing this Venn diagram? You understand? I hope everyone understand the importance of domain also here, because whenever the data science word comes, people say that, okay, let's start learning coding, let's start learning some mathematics. It's good. You can learn those things only. How to learn domain, if you ask me, it has to come with experience. It has to come with multiple exercises or data science project you do. any course you take in data science always will have some projects associated with them. That is going to help you learn the domain, right? Let's say if you want to get into data science, you do one project in banking, one project in insurance, one banking in e-commerce, one in pharma, and then you learn the different domains, right? So domain, just don't miss it. It's the salt in your recipe. But data science is a combination of all these foundational offerings, foundational field of study. Now, because it is everything, generally data scientists are called as jack of all and ace of none. Why? Because a data science, like I have given this example, I got this quotation from Josh Wells. He says, data scientist is a person who's better at statistics than a software engineer and better at software engineering than a statistician, right? So data science person will not be a better statistician in statistics than a statistician. No, because statisticians are expert in their field. Or data scientist cannot be a better computer engineer than a computer engineer. No, but a data scientist will be better statistician than a software engineer and a better software engineer than a statistician. So it's kind of jack of all kind of a trade which is going in. So there's no difference, Sudipta. Data science is the universe. Machine learning is part of it, right? If you place machine learning here, machine learning will be in this pink bucket, which is computer science. Machine learning is just a part of computer science, right? So you can say there's no difference. Data science is the universe and machine learning is just one piece of it. I hope that clarifies. That's why I'm saying this is the field, a whole industry, the whole field is data science. And it has many parts. Machine learning is one, which is again a buzzword. And these are not different. Data science is the universe. Machine learning is part of it. Data engineering is a part of it. You can call it, let's say, what all deep learning we are hearing these days, image processing, image analytics, voice analytics, natural language processing, whatever we are hearing, all these buzzwords somewhere fit in the data science field itself. So it's a subset of data science. So Dipta, if I have to answer the question, these are no two different things, right? So if anyone wants to get into data science, he has to be good in all these three things. Not really, not really, but you have to be good at least two of them. Why I'm saying is, in data science, there's not only one job profile which is there, right? If you look at many job openings in data science on LinkedIn and other job portals, you don't see only data scientist as a field. There are so many job profiles are there, right? So you have to first decide which job profile is suitable for your educational background, for your interest, and for your strength. Like I will give you example. I cannot be a data engineer. Data engineer is a part of data science only. It's a job profile which is in data science. But I cannot be a data engineer. If I wish to become a data engineer, I would have failed because that's not my strength. That's not my how my educational background was. So you cannot be everything in data science. So don't think data science as one job. It's it's a field, it's an industry, and there are different job profiles in that. And for each of them, you need different set of skills, which is my goal of today to demystify them for you. Right? Right, Sudipta, and that is a problem. AI and ML, as I told you, is not a different concept than data science. AI ML is the basics of AI ML is computer science and statistics. As simple as that. It's nothing new. It's not nothing very different from data science and all. But because it's a buzzword, people just want to directly jump into AI ML, which is not going to help them. So at the end of this webinar, maybe it will be more clear to you. But you are right, because these are buzzwords. People just want to learn AI ML, but AI ML is like your masters, or not even masters. It has many steps behind it. The foundation you have to learn, then only you can ace in AI and ML. And foundation is these things that I'm talking about. AI ML is just piece of it. If you search for this on Google, there was a Google paper which said this word. AI ML is just a small piece in the whole data science ecosystem. We should not be so much be fancied about AI ML. I've been doing this AI ML thing for 7 years, but again, I will just conclude by saying AI ML is not the only thing. There are so many things going in data science solution than only a AI ML code. So you're right, Sudipta. It's not good directly jumping on AI ML and thinking that AI ML is only data science. It's not. It's not like that. Okay. So if we don't have any questions on this slide, yeah. So like we were mentioning, now let's break this data science into different steps or different components. How non-IT background students can survive without coding skills. So we have to learn basic coding, Priya. That is going to happen. But this coding is not like learning a Java programming. Right? Java programming, C++ programming, these are different kind of object-oriented kind of programming, which has different structure to it. But a data science programming, which generally people learn in R or Python, is a very different way of programming. It just line by line, you are giving instruction to a computer to do some activity. So if I have to answer in one sentence, you have to learn some coding, right? If you want to um, be a data scientist or a data analyst. But there are some profiles like a pure business analyst which doesn't require coding also. So I will come to that, Priya, but I recommend everyone coming to data science at least learn some coding. And it is not very difficult, or it's not a Java programming which you have to spend 4 years learning that. It's not like that. So you have to learn something, at least R or Python, any one of them will be fine. Because if you learn the concepts, you need some tool to run your concepts or do your exercises. So R and Python are those tools. But as I mentioned, it's not very difficult to learn these coding. I'm not expecting anyone to learn a PHP or a Java coding, but yes, R and Python is required. But there are also some job profiles where you don't need coding. That also I will mention. Right. So if you need to develop any solution using data science, it's not that solution can only be developed by data science, right? People have been taking decisions based on their experiences. A bank can take a decision. A CEO can say that I have been in this industry for 20 years. I know which kind of people uh, default, and you will hear this in industry. And I have heard this from many people. As a data scientist, I will go there and ask them that why not use data science to predict something, and they will be like, I am in the industry for 25 years. I know everything. I know that which kind of people default, what kind of people is going to buy my product. They know everything. So experience-based decisioning has been happening in the industry for all these years. Now the world has moved to data-based decisioning. Right? There's only two ways to take decisions. Either you take it basis of experience, or you take it basis the data. And there are different kind of organizations. Some organizations take decision only basis experience. Some do only basic data. The best is use both. Use the experience of business folks and also use your data and then take decision. So for taking any data driven decisions, we have to do all these things in the data science life cycle. The point number one is business understanding. Whenever anyone gives you any business challenge, understand their problem. Like, let's continue this example that we took. A bank wants to make a model to decide whether to give loan to someone or not to give loan to someone based on their credit prediction. You get this business problem and you just go back on your desk and start building, start coding, start building solution. That's not how things should work. First, understand the business, what they actually want. Try to understand how many people they give loan, what percentage of people they reject, and what percent of people they give loan to. How many people from the whole portfolio is actually defaulting? What is the impact of default on their whole business? That's what is written in point number 1. Ask relevant question and define objective for the problem. Till the time you don't know how many people are defaulting, you don't have any objective set, right? Let's say bank has only 1% default and you spend millions of dollars creating the solution. Doesn't going to work, right? So whenever anyone asks you any to develop any solution, the first step is of any data science life cycle. Again, stick to send the data science life cycle is asking questions from them, understand the business. And at last, we are going to do this together. I have exercise where we will take industry problem and we'll see how data science can solve it. It's one of the way data science can solve it, but of course there can be many ways. So try to make notes of these points or at least some pointer, because these are going to even in your interviews, these are going to help. In the interviews, people are going to give you some scenarios and they are going to ask you how are you going to create some solution. And don't just start giving answers. The very first step is the business understanding, right? And then the second step is data mining. You have to gather data from everywhere. You will not get data in one Excel. You will get maybe multiple Excels, which may be spread over, divided over years. From 2016, you have different Excel sheets, 17 different Excel sheets and all. Maybe some data is on cloud, some data is on database, some data is in Excel, some data is somewhere else. So data mining is gathering the necessity or required data. And data scientist has to do it. It's not that, again, like Sudipta asked me, AI/ML. AI/ML is not even kicked yet. And it's not even going to kick very soon. It will take time to reach there. A data scientist have to do data mining also. Third and very critical step, data cleaning. A data scientist have to clean the data. Why? Because data entry people are in at the lowest level of the ladder, right? They tend to do lots of mistake while data entry. And because organization never thought that they are going to use data for the solution, they were not bothered to have a clean data, right? So whatever data was coming, incomplete, spelling mistakes, enterprises were okay because they were just living up with the regulations. Somebody has told, store the data, so I'm storing, that's it. I don't care if it is clean or not. So when we get data, our most of the time is spent in data cleaning. Once the data is clean, you have understood the business problem, you have got all the data, you have cleaned the data, then you do data exploration. Then you do data exploration. That means you try to see the trend inside the data. Like we discussed, data science is about mining and finding the trends. When you have this data, you try to find out some pattern, that how tier 1 customers are behaving different than tier 2 customers. You will create some age buckets and try to find out in which age band most of the customers are defaulting. You will create age bands, you will create income bands and try to find out which income band is best for me. What kind of educational background people are not defaulting. So you will just try to explore the data, exploring nothing but asking questions from data. So at first step, you were asking questions from business. Now at fourth step, data exploration, you are asking questions from the data, because if you have the data, you can start exploring it. From here, machine learning kicks in. Once you explore the data, then machine learning kicks in. For machine learning, you have to do some feature engineering. Now, what is feature engineering? Feature engineering means feature is nothing but these variables like education background, your annual income, your education background, or your job profile, where do you live, your city. These are variables or these are features. Feature engineering means combining these features and creating some new features, right? Changing this feature, engineering this feature to create some new features. That is feature engineering. Very important step. We will see how and what we need to do there. And then we build a predictive model. Predictive model is AI ML. Predictive modeling is your AI ML code and all. And after that also your job is not done. You have to finally again visualize the data, because business people, finally you will present to the business. You cannot go and give some probability score to CEO that Prashant Roy has 0.56% probability of defaulting. CEO will say, what I am going to do with it? He's not a data scientist, you are a data scientist. So your role is to, even finally, once you have built the predictive model, still visualize it so that business is able to digest it. Then your job is done. Okay, simple. You get the business understanding, you mine the data. That means you bring all the relevant data together, you do the data cleaning, then you explore the data to understand the pattern, then you create some features, new variables, new columns, you build a predictive model, and the output of the predictive model, you have to visualize it and then present it to the business that, see, this is the output, take this and take some action. Again, referring to the slide one, actionable insights. Output of this should always be an actionable insight. Any question till this point or in this slide? Anything which is not clear, anything you want to ask questions on, please let me know. I can see a question. Let me see. How to apply data science in core subject like satellite communication? Image processing is one of the examples. So, uh, Rishikant, I can give you an example. Many people are using satellite imagery for agriculture purposes also. So they are using the images from satellite for agriculture purpose, for weather, for all any landscape, geographical kind of a thing. So satellite communication is mostly if you are getting images or if you are getting satellite data that can be used for solving those business problems. So that is one of the use case. Any questions? You can also unmute. Please feel free to ask any questions. I don't mind any questions. Okay. Now let's come to very important point, which is what are the different data science job roles are there? And finally, I want to combine these two slides, right? I want to put each job profile, what they are going to do, and I want to refer it back to the last slide. Great, Avinash, you are from banking background, which is good. And banking, almost all banks are using data science and they are having huge teams. You can name anything. I know personally ICICI Bank has a huge team of R coders. They are also big time SaaS users also. Axis Bank is again a big shop for R, and any bank, IDFC, you can name any. So even in my current role, I have been working with these banking institutions also. I am mostly working in BFSI. So BFSI industry is using data science for most of their data decisioning. So from banking background perspective, you are at the right place. Data science is something you should look after for, right? So if I see the slide, I see there are so many different job roles which is available: data scientist, data analyst, data engineer, data architect, data storyteller, machine learning scientist, machine learning engineer, business intelligence developer, database administrator, technology specialized role. And I have just made or created this list of 10 job roles. But in data science, there are hundreds of them. These are the most common and most popular. I will first choose the most popular ones. Can anyone put on chat which job role you see and you become curious that what these people are doing? Data scientist is someone who is at the center of that Venn diagram. Data scientist is the person who knows statistics, computer science, and domain all at together. Data science scientist is little senior role, right? I'm just starting with data science scientist, but I still want people to put the popular one on the chat. If you're curious to know about any of these, do let me know. So I will start with, okay, I have got something in the chat. Data storyteller, very interesting, very interesting. I also get very much curious about this. So data storyteller and BI developer, these two roles are somewhat linked to each other. Okay. These are the people, these are the people who will create dashboards. Now, what is a dashboard? Dashboard is set of graphs. Set of graphs. You see for COVID dashboard, you see for any sports also, there's a dashboard which is telling me it's a set of graphs, some bar plot, some pie chart. So storytellers use dashboards and graphs to communicate insights. Okay, these are your data storytellers. Now, data storyteller is going to use BI tools, business intelligence tool. There are many in market. BI tools also make these notes. These are very common terminologies. When you are giving interview, people will just ask what BI tools you know. BI tools is business intelligence tools. Right? Business intelligence tools will help you to create dashboard. What are business intelligence tools which are very popular? We have Power BI, we have Tableau. Anyone who has heard these names? Power BI, Tableau, then Click View or Click Sense. Have you guys heard about this? Even R and Python, both you can use for creating charts, creating visualization. That is also possible. Excel is also considered as good, but I have ranked it basis the expertise level. Anyone who has heard about these things and in the demand in the market? Yes. Okay, what role is more interesting? It's not that, Priya, right? It's what you like, right? It's what you like. If you like to be a storyteller, that means you are a person who can look at the data, create some graph, put information in a sequence which tells you a story. Story is not Snow White story, right? It is some insights. Like I give you a story, which kind of people default in credit card. So you will take some data and say that, okay, I am seeing that in tier two cities, people are defaulting more. But if I dig deep in tier two cities also, we have two kind of customer. One customer whose education background is at least graduate one customer whose educational background is below undergraduate. And this set of people are defaulting, but that set of people are not defaulting. So this is our story, and you are using data and visualization to create this story. Then you are a storyteller teller, or a business intelligence developer. Both generally do develop these dashboards and reports. And many people love this. Many people are very good at it. And they are doing that only. They have created career in doing that. Then I have some more uh, interesting ones which was coming. So let me first, let's say I erase drawing. So if you want to take notes and screenshot at the time, I will erase and again write. Now some people were also interested in machine learning, scientist, machine learning engineer. Now these two are again very close to each other. So these people are going to develop machine learning models, develop ML models. So the word scientist means they are more on the statistics and maths part of it. Statistics and maths part of it. So these people know what is behind the algorithm, behind the algo, right? So they have to be so detailed. A data machine learning scientist will understand that how a deep learning model works actually. What is the maths behind the machine learning models? Data scientist is going to learn to understand that. But data learning engineer, machine learning engineer will not go behind the algo, but he knows how to run an algo anywhere, right? Once you have created algorithm, you have to run it also, right? Let's say I want to learn this algorithm on my mobile app. I want to run my machine learning algorithm on some internet browser, on some website, or maybe on bank website or somewhere else. So machine learning engineer creates this machine learning models, right? These are machine learning people, right? So they create machine learning models, but data scientist is more around knowing the theory behind algorithms, and machine learning engineer is more around the outside of the algorithm, how I can run this algorithm on different places. But these two are very machine learning heavy. If you are considering these role, if you want to become machine learning scientist or engineer or developer, and there are many names to it: machine learning analyst, machine learning specialist. There can be many, anywhere this machine learning word is there, you have to know R, Python, SAS, any one of them. Machine learning you cannot build without R, Python, and SAS. If you want to be there, then you have to do these things. Now these are one group of people, the machine learning algorithm building. And the first group I already told you, which are just a report builder, dashboard builder, storyteller. These people are machine learning people. They build AI ML algorithm. And where does it fit? So if I go back, if you see, I cannot go back till I stop this. Yeah, I can. Okay. So if I clear this, yeah, and start drawing. Yeah. Now if you look at here, so machine learning engineer will do these things. Here, here you will have your ML engineer or your ML scientist. These names are just names. People call it anything. ML specialist, ML whatever. But yes, machine learning professionals will work here, mostly here. Predictive modeling, feature engineering. Where do your data storyteller and BI developer will work? They will work here. This is the BI space, business intelligence. Here, again, data visualization. This is also a BI space, business intelligence space. Here, people who are using these two things will be called as BI developer or data storyteller, right? Then a different field, different field is data engineering, right? If I go back and you see more fields, right? You see more fields, then I have these things which I haven't covered. So now if I see data engineer, data architect, and database administrator, these three roles are very data specific. Okay, these roles are data specific. That means you are good at extracting the data, creating database. So all these things are linked to data, right? And just think about it, data can be in so many different shapes and form. Data can be image, data can be voice, data can come from Facebook, data can come for YouTube streaming, it can come from satellite, it can come from uh, medical images, medical images. How to store these data, how to store these data effectively, how to extract this data effectively, how to what should I say, transform this data effectively, right? How to query data effectively. These things are done by your these three fields: data engineer, data architect, and database administrator. These are more on the data side. They are not close to business. They don't know exactly how business is going to use these data. They don't know and they don't want to know. They are very good in deciding how these data should be stored to be most effective, how to extract these data. If you ask a question that I want 5-year-old data, then only your data engineer or data architect or database admin is going to help you, because data scientists won't know where is the 5-year-old data, how to extract it, how to bring here. They have no clue. So people who are very strong in data storage, data extraction, data transformation, data querying is nothing but bringing relevant data. Like I told you, 5 years data. If I want 5-year-old data, then you have to query the data and bring the data. So there's a whole group of jobs which is totally focused on here, which is managing the data. You can just say managing, right? Anyone who's interested in these field. Mostly a computer science background people generally I've seen, because they have these subjects of databases, right? Logical data models, they have these subjects. So I have seen many computer engineers choosing this. So if you ask me, I have seen many computer science engineer, CS engineer choosing these fields, right? And machine learning specialist, I have seen both statisticians, stat people, and engineer people choosing them. Storyteller, I have mostly seen business people. Business people, there's also some business people choosing it, right? Business people can be from any background. It doesn't matter. Statisticians, engineers can become machine learning engineer, scientist. The remaining two field, data scientists and data analyst, are more generic fields. These are generic fields. A data analyst can be expected to do all those things. He's not an expert in anything, means he's not an expert on only one of these things. He's a generic role. And data analyst versus data scientist, data analyst is just a junior role. Junior, if you have less experience, you will start as data analyst. Data scientist is much of a senior role. It will mostly all data analysts generally reports to data scientist. Achha, best field for career, if I have to answer, is again totally dependent on your skill set and all. If you ask me, of course, go for data scientist, right? Data scientist is a generic role, can understand everything, can understand all of these things, right? It's a generic role. Go for data scientist. learn some things in all these segments. That's the best thing you can do. But let's say you are someone who, so the question should be, do you hate any of these things? Let me clear the drawing and go back and ask you some questions. In these three things, coding, data science, statistics, domain, is there anything that you don't like? Then you should not go for generic roles, the data scientist, data analyst role. You should not go, because those includes everything. Even if you come here, if any of these things you don't want to do, then data analyst and data scientist is not for you, because it's a generic role. Data scientist, data analyst are expected to do all these things, right? Let's say you are a computer science graduate and you love coding, but you hate talking to business. That there's a possibility, right? No, not everybody likes client facing roles. That there is a possibility you only want to do coding, hardcore coding stuff. Then you will not go for data scientist, because data scientist has to talk to business, do data mining, do data cleaning. Then you will go for machine learning engineer or something, which is totally focused on coding. Or let's say you are coming from commerce background, or you're coming from economics background, and you don't want yourself to be bothered with the computer science side of things. You want use data, use statistics, and build solution. I don't want to code and all, but still want to be in data science and still want to solve problems using data science. Then you will go for a data storyteller, or you will go for a business intelligence developer or something like that. Right? So it's about what you don't like. It's not about which is best. Best is of course always a data scientist, because he knows everything. Data analyst and data scientist does is a generic role. It does all these things. But if you're a good ML engineer, you can be hired by Facebook, Google, Apple, and you can be getting more money than data scientists. It's possible. Even a database administrators, you can be earning huge money and doing very good in your career. So any of these roles is not something which it is good, it is bad or something. Data scientist is, again, as I told, is jack of all, ace of none. And data analyst is just a junior data scientist kind of thing. But if you want to be a little more specific in data science, that I want to do data engineering, I am very good at databases, I am very good at designing databases, I am very good at storing data the right way, go for data engineer, data architect, database administrator kind of role. Or if you want to be heavy on business, but not that much on coding and stuff, be a business intelligence developer, be a data storyteller, be a statistician, right? So to answer your question, it's not which is good or bad. It's whether you want to be more of a generic personality, generic profile, or you have decided that no, one thing I don't like, or one thing I like so much that I want to only build my career in that. Then you can choose any of the roles. Now tell me, I want to understand from my audience, what are you going to choose here? Have you decided? Is there something which has touched your heart till now that, yeah, I want to focus on becoming this? I'm having many people expecting more engagement. If you guys can just pick anything right now. I'm not going to question you that why did you pick this one. So which one is looking like you should target for that? Questions tab is, yeah, the chat I am looking. I think I have answered this question here. Great. Mm, cool. Any question on this slide before I go to the next slide? Okay. Now a data scientist, because it's a generic role, I have some things like what they are expected to do. They're expected to find data analytics issues, which is data issues, find meaningful information from big data, evaluate available new data sources, support data collection, which is the data mining front, data mining piece, use suitable algorithms in the machine learning piece, craft experiment is the again machine learning running piece, and collaborate with the stakeholders is the business piece. I have a question, sir. I'm coming from humanities background, but I have computer science as my additional subject, and I love coding. Can we go for all this career field? Yes, definitely, definitely, Suminma. You can go for anything which is mentioned there. When I was saying that who should go for what role, I didn't want to pass a message that you cannot go for any role. You can go for any role, irrespective of your education background, because data science is interdisciplinary. You are coming from any background. I have my colleagues who have done their masters and bachelors in economics, and they are doing very good in data science as a data scientist. I have people who have done BSc and MSc actually, and they are doing very good as ML engineer. So irrespective of your education background, you have to just learn the tools and the skills of data science, and then you can start working. But it's totally non-dependent of education background. It is dependent on your choice, right? It's not dependent on your education background. It's dependent on your choice. If you want to, if you want not to learn any one of them, then you can take decision. Otherwise, you can choose anything. Rahul is asking if someone expert in networking, database, business domain, which one? Exactly, Rahul. This is the one. You can be a data architect, a data engineer, a database administrator, or a technology specific specialized role. Right? You are good in networking, you are good in databases, you are good in business domain. Then you should basically focus on data engineering part of it. Data engineering, data architect, database administrator, technology specialized roles. You should focus on that. But again, it doesn't mean that you cannot go for other roles. It's only because if you want to continue your expertise, then these are the role which has those expertise. From a non-tech person, is it okay? Yes, definitely. Definitely, Shubhangini, 100% okay. And I recommend you going for that. It's not that. Learn everything, learn the whole data science field, and then you can decide that you want to focus on one piece of it. Without learning these things, you cannot know the good and bad things of from it, right? So definitely, you should definitely learn these things and then decide. So data analyst, yes, 100% you should go for it. Vedika says, as I am new to data science, please tell me what data. Yes, exactly. My next slide is going to cover that. Correct. Mm, Then we have Jaita Ghosh asks if one is in the starting mode, is it necessary to start with data analyst role? Not really, but what I will say is you should actually start with data analyst role, not as a data analyst role, but you should start with learning data science as a whole. So you should start learning all these things, starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then finally you should decide you want to remain in a generic role of a data analyst or data scientist, or you want to be in more specialized role. So that's my recommendation. I did that only. I chose these 7 things. Then I decided for business understanding what course I am going to take. For data mining, what course I am going to take. For data cleaning, or there are courses which includes many of these things. So I took some courses and finally I covered all these 7 boxes. And then I went into data science field. So from job perspective, you can choose any one of, or you can even learn all these things, at least have a basic knowledge of all these things, and then finally decide that if you want to take it, take any which role. That will be totally on you. Great. So let's come to with the slide everyone would be waiting for, right? So what are the core data science skills which are there in market, which one should learn to go into data science, right? So this is again, I have not prepared it. I found it again on the very interesting paper. So, so this is ranked. So if you see access, it is ranked. If you go on the right hand side, there's a more popularity on the XXCI popularity, and here it's advanced skills. Okay, so like Excel, it is very popular, but it's not that advanced. It's basic level. So on the if it is here, it is more basic. If it is on the higher side, it is more advanced. And popularity is like this. Right hand side is more popular. Left hand side is less popular. And this is again one of the views. This is one view in the industry, and there can be many other views. But the thing you should take from this slide is, or maybe you take a screenshot, you have to learn these things not at the day zero. You should not learn all these things at day zero. But finally, these are the hot core data science skills. These are the hot core data science skills. One should not, it's not mandatory to learn all these things. It's not mandatory, but slowly, maybe everyone learns all these things, right? Now, if you ask me, some things are repeated here, right? See, R and Python, these are must things, okay? But one of them, either you can learn R or you can learn Python or you can learn both also. It's not done, but at least one of them, at least one of them, because whatever you will learn, you have to do that somewhere. And R and Python is that development environment. So we have to learn one of these things. Then many things are related to mathematics. We have statistics, we have mathematics that we have to learn, right? We have to learn this. Basics, at least we should know all the basics of statistics and maths. Then only we are going to um, be a data scientist. So at day zero, if you are starting your data science career, if I have to choose, I will say at least one of R Python, statistics and mathematics, and I will say these things. Data visualization. Let me color it some other color so that you have, yeah, you should have data visualization, Excel. These things are basic before you start your data science career. And the advanced one is, of course, the question is going by current energy, what are the skills that a candidate definitely expected to have? Yes, that's what I am highlighting. R and Python, any one of them. Statistics knowledge, you have to have. Data visualization, maybe not mandatory. So maybe this is not mandatory. And you can say machine learning is the one, right? So if I have to say these are the mandatory skill one should have on the day zero, which you can learn through courses. Rest of thing, if you see, these are to be learned on job as well, like critical thinking, communication with the businesses, business understanding. These are the things which you have to learn on the job also. You have to learn with experience. But at day zero, people will expect you to have basic mathematics, statistics knowledge, R and Python knowledge, machine learning knowledge, and some data visualization knowledge. Now, which tools support this? You have to ask this question, right? If you have to learn data visualization, then you have to, again, as I mentioned, R and Python does it, but you have more specialized dedicated tool for data visualization, which I just mentioned. You can choose Tableau, you can choose Power BI. There are many courses and very popular courses for Tableau, Power BI. I think these two should be enough because these two are most popular these days. There are others also, but I think you should choose any one of them if you will ask me. So Rahul, Oracle is a specific technology for database, right? So like I mentioned SQL, right? So Oracle is just a database technology which is there. And SQL these days is more popular. It's not that Oracle is not popular. Oracle is a database. Oracle is a database, right? So like SQL is a database, MongoDB is a, so there are many databases. So one database at least you should know. That's why people have mentioned SQL. It can it could have been Oracle also, but maybe it's not mandatory. So I have not learned Oracle till today. It was not needed for me. So maybe that is why it's not mentioned here. That doesn't mean Oracle is not a good skill. That doesn't mean that. But maybe it is not that mandatory. It's very good to have. So that's the only point, Rahul. It's not like that, right? Statistics we have to learn are machine learning. Machine learning you are going to do on R and Python, right? That is why it's at this advanced level, because first you have to learn, first when you start you have to learn a little bit Excel, then when you go you have to learn mathematics, then at third level you have to learn mathematics and statistics together, and then you will learn R or Python, and then finally you will learn machine learning algorithms, and then the data science, your resume, your profile is ready for a data science job. Any question on this slide? I'm checking the chat also if you are putting anything. Right. Going by current industry demands, I would say R, Python, machine learning is the hottest things. Everyone wants R, Python, machine learning. These are the most popular skills. But at behind of machine learning is the statistics and maths, right? Nobody will explicitly ask you whether you have good background statistics and maths. But any machine learning algorithm, the background will always be maths and statistics. So base should be there. And Power BI, Tableau as well. These are also very, very hot skills. There are many jobs. Just go on LinkedIn, go on Google, and just type Tableau jobs, Power BI jobs. Just type R jobs, Python jobs. You will be amazed to see how many jobs are there, right? Excel is just so basic, it has to be there. But these days, I think Excel, most of the people know, and they should know Excel. But it is mandatory to have some working knowledge of Excel. Good. Any questions that you guys have here? Interesting, right? So you have this diagram which you can pick and choose and maybe tick mark one by one that yes, this is done, this is done. And as I'm saying, I also don't know everything here. Like I am little weak in SQL, right? Databases side, I am little weak, but I know basic SQL. It's not that I cannot write any query. So on everything, you should not be just an expert. You should know these things. And slowly, when you start working, your expertise will be built in few of these things. Which is easier to learn? You can pick any. Easier to learn, I will say Power BI. Easier to learn, but more popular, and Tableau has been in the industry for so many years. Tableau has been leader for many years, but Power BI is little easier. Is data science support to MATLAB or chip programming where we get? So MATLAB is very good in data science. I know it's not mentioned here because R and Python are open source, free softwares. Anyone can download it and start learning it. But MATLAB is very, very strong in data science. But it's an enterprise level solution. So you have to buy MATLAB data science solution. Where we get data and filter, I am asking combination, chip software, how data science involve. So yes, you can. So how I use data science, I will tell you. In my college days, I did a image processing project. I built a ATM cash deposit machine. So I took images of, if anyone puts any rupee note, it will take a photo of it. It will run the code in MATLAB. So there's a sensor, there's an image which is taken. And then on that, I was learning a machine learning algorithm, which was telling me which currency is this. So of course, you can combine that, and MATLAB has many data science algorithms and libraries that you can use to build machine learning algorithms. But these are more popular tools. I will just say R and Python because these are open source. It's free. You can just go download it, start learning. But SAS or MATLAB, these are enterprise level tools. So that's why it's not that popular, but it's not that doesn't mean it's not that good. So these are the skills somehow we need to uh, put, right? Machine learning algorithm, we will come to that, but let's see this. Let's see data science in action. Everyone ready? Just another 5-10 minutes. So you guys have been patient and have been engaging. Thank you for that. It will just take last 5-10 minutes for me. Then I will be open for questions. But let's see data science in action. Okay, all those things that we discussed, how it is going to look in real life. Okay, first thing, I have to take a business use case, right, which we are going to solve. So let's say, let's take a business use case. Okay, I want to decrease customer customer churn for a insurance company. Anything which is not clear, any word which is not clear? Customer churn means customer going out of the company, customer leaving the company, right? Customer not renewing their policy, customer going out with another company. So I want to decrease the customer churn for an insurance company. Easy, simple. And let's say it's a motor insurance because everyone would have bought vehicle insurance or motor insurance. So we will consider a motor insurance company. Good use case. Everyone can connect to this. There's an insurance company, let's say very popular insurance company, which is, let's say, ICICI Lombard is an insurance company. It comes to you and say that, hey, I am losing my customers to someone else. Can you stop my customers from leaving me? This is the question given to you. Now, as a data scientist, you will ask all these questions that, okay, tell me, sir, what is your current renewal rate, right? What is your current churn? They will say, okay, 35% of my customer churn. Then you will say, great. What all product you want me to consider? Okay, only motor insurance. And you will ask some questions to understand the business. Then you will ask the data. Okay. Of course, data will come in multiple different files. A data engineer will combine this and finally create a file. You will clean it. And after this, the file which is generated is called as master data. So on the screen that you see is an example or a snapshot of a master data. Okay. It has some ID. ID is a very important column. Okay. Policy number is a unique ID. And then you have this, which is called as my target variable. Target variable. This flag is going to tell me whether customer is renewing the policy or customer is churning. Okay, motor insurance has to be renewed every year. I buy a policy for 1 year. At the end of the term, I have to renew. Right? If the customer don't renew, that is called as customer churn. So I have this target variable renewal flag, right? And I have this ID policy number. I get this master data. Okay, how do I get it? I get in multiple forms. I combine it. Finally, get a master data. Then what do I do? What should be the next step? The next step is I can go and do the data exploration. So this is the job role. This is the example output of a data storyteller. A BI developer will create a dashboard like this. This is example of a dashboard, a report, a data scientist, data analyst, maybe a BI developer, a data storyteller will create. Right? The summary of your retention rate. Retention is what? Opposite of churn. If 35% people are churning, so how many are remaining? So this is Overall retention is 65%. What is your retention rate month on month? Right? January it was low, February it increased, March it increased, again April it dipped, and so on and so forth. And then what is your retention by different channels, by different location? Delhi is good, Ahmedabad is not good, so on and so forth. First, you build these kind of a thing, which is your step number 2 or 3 in the whole circle, which is data exploration and visualization. And this is a typical output of that. Any question till now? We have created this data, we have taken master data, then we have explored and visualized and created these kind of dashboard to understand the data better. Then what do we do? Then we build the machine learning algorithm. And machine learning algorithm will give this kind of output. I know it's not something which you can understand at the day one, but somewhere it's written, okay, this is a gradient boosting model. What is the accuracy of it? Which variables are important? Something you will get. This is the step 3. And you have to visualize or present your machine learning model like that. But your model output will look like this. This is the model output, guys. Just look at this. It is predicting with a probability, okay, that the customer is going to remain with me or it is going to churn. So there's a 43% probability, okay, that this customer is going to be with me, right? So very low probability, right? All greens are high probability. 77% probability customer will be with me. Very good customer. Green color. Red color means customer is going to go away from me. So a predictive model gives you these kind of output, which is probability of customer being with you. If you're building something of credit score, probability of customer being default or not. With this probability, don't go with this probability to your business. Create some bucket and call these. So what you can do is, one idea is what I generally use. I bucket these all red customer and say these are high risk customers. And I will give this to my business and say these are high risk customer. Please focus more on that. If you look at this, this is how I will divide my data. I will say how many are high risk customers. I will divide my customer into low risk, medium risk, and high risk. And finally tell how many policies are there in low risk, medium risk, and high risk. And then I will say these are very high risk customers, sir. These might go and churn. Please focus on it more. Actionable insight. I will give an actionable insight. Focus on these customer. Call them more. Call them. Send someone to their home. Maybe give discount. Do anything but retain them. So this is the final output which you give to your customer by going through all the steps of data science. Here you want to reach. Get all the probability of customer and give to the business, which they can digest very easily. They know, okay, these are the customer, high risk customer. I want to call them more, maybe send someone to home, give more discount, give some coupons, but do something to keep them with us. From my side, I think these were the slides that I wanted to cover. I will just go through these slides just for you guys to look at it and ask any question that you have. Whether I have covered that part or not doesn't matter, but just ask any question that you guys have. I'm open to questions. We have few more minutes if there are questions from anyone from the audience, please.
So just in case you feel that your question hasn't been answered yet, you can please put it up again. I'll pass it on to Prashant. And I also have a couple of things to say, although I think Prashant has very well handled most of your queries, at least the one which I passed them on. I have kept some of the questions towards the for the end of the session, assuming that they might be answered during the course of the presentation. And if you still think that they have not been answered, please let me know. I'll pass them on again. Mm. Okay. I don't see any new questions coming in, Prashant. So I want to talk about a couple of things, and then I want to show case the courses that we offer. A couple of questions that I wanted to answer about. Many people had this confusion about if they are not from programming background, can they still be part of data science workforce and so on. And I think Prashant mentioned this, that uh,
You want to share your screen also, because I
yeah,
think I
yeah,
am sharing my
I
screen.
will
I
in a
will just
moment. Sure.
sure.
Mm. And let me become, hold on. Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about our courses, but before that, I want to answer a couple of questions which people had about. I was talking about programming, that people having these doubts that I'm not from a programming background, and can I still make it to a data science career? As Prashant mentioned, that the programming here is not from the perspective of Java or C++ or from a software development perspective. Programming like languages like R were written for statisticians. So they come with the inbuilt function which a statistician can use to solve data analytics problem or data science problems. And statisticians by default are not supposed to be programmers. And to begin with, I will mention that you use Excel, right? You write functions in Excel. You don't feel like programming, but in a way you are doing that. See, very similarly in R, let's say you are building a linear regression model or you're doing hypothesis test. From reading to data to doing hypothesis tests, you'll probably need to write 2 or 3 lines of code using some pre-written functions in R. So learning R programming will be more like being aware of the functions to use rather than writing hundreds of lines of codes to achieve what you need to do in data analysis. And the second part is that you need these programming languages because you will learn the theoretical details, but eventually you would want to implement them in doing analysis. You need some tool. And these open source tools are the ones available in the market which are most versatile. Second is the mathematics and statistics part. We teach them from scratch, and there is an extent to which you need to be aware of maths and stats and probabilities. Most of the machine learning or data science domain requires some or the other version of mathematics which you would have learned till your grade +2 maybe. Of course, when you're starting a career, you are not looking at writing or reading PhD level machine learning papers. For that, the requirement might be much more advanced mathematics, but not everybody from the beginning of their career is going to do that. Okay, so it might sound very intimidating when people mention that you need very advanced level of maths and stats. Not really. Third thing was domain, and it's an important part of the machine learning or data science solutions. And but it's not that what if I have never done data science before, right? And that is where you have goals like I want to switch to data science or I want to use data science in my domain. How you can begin your career without having domain knowledge when one of the important piece is the domain knowledge. By domain knowledge, it's not that if you want to work in healthcare, you have to have some healthcare knowledge to begin with. I think when we mention that domain knowledge is important, it's to emphasize that the context is important. You cannot expect that okay, some data set is given to you and you'll blindly jump in with all your data science tools and somehow you will develop a solution which will right away go into the business production. It's not. you need to be always focusing on the context of the problem, and the business focus of the solution needs to be there. So it's domain. When we mention that domain knowledge is important, it's also about an attitude towards problem solving. And when you have that, uh, uh, acquiring domain knowledge doesn't take a lot of time. There are some nuances which takes years and years to realize, but most of the time it's more about your attitude towards solving the problems. Okay. And second, I think somebody mentioned that why not this tool is prominent, and why another particular tool. I think it's a very organic decision which the community has taken. It's about ease of usage, ease of availability, ease of learning. And in there are Python, Tableau, MySQL, Power BI. These have been the natural winners. And so what gets popular in industry is always driven by cost and ease and availability of resources, and whoever provides the best gets successful. It's not really about uh, us assuming that okay, this also does the same job, why is not that popular. It could also be that already such solutions existed. For example, now R and Python are very prominent programming languages in data science domain, and a lot of other languages might be equally capable, but there is such a huge following of these languages, and since they are not really lacking into something, switching them to a newer solution might not be really something that somebody would want to do. uh, Another very prominent, in various ways, people ask the question that where should I start? I mean, should I start in a data analyst role, or should I start in a data scientist role? I think we need to understand that there are two things here to understand. One is where to start learning, another is where to start working. So where to start learning is, of course, if you are entirely new to data science and you haven't worked with data before, you need to start learning at the data analyst level. Okay. Where do you start working depends on where you are in your career right now. For example, somebody who has spent, let's say, 10, 15 years in banking, uh, for them starting as a data analyst fresher role is not feasible, and they wouldn't want to do that anyway. So for them will be they gather the knowledge of data science and then combine their 15 years of domain knowledge and find use cases around them, and then use data science to fork their career path in that direction. So data science is not here. I would like to mention data science or AI or machine learning is not a new domain. It's a new vertical in companies. Just like IT became a new vertical in early 90s, and now uh, every company that you can think of will have a huge chunk of their department working in IT services or taking care of IT requirements. Similarly, data science or machine learning is coming up as a new vertical. Every company that I know of, they either already have a data science team, even if they are using external consultant, they will have a data science team, or in the process of developing one or hiring one or training one. Okay. So the company or the organization that you are part of will also be having some departments or some teams either in process of building them or already having one. You can start working them I mean, as a product manager, or as a product owner, or as a consultant, bringing in so there can be two things. You don't have to join as a consultant, or as a product manager, being data science being your core skill set. Your core skill set can be your domain expertise, and since you're aware of data science, you can suggest what solutions to work on and what way to build them, bringing in your domain knowledge. Okay. Okay. I hope that covers a lot of ground in terms of the queries and doubts you guys had. If there is anything that I haven't or Prashant hasn't answered that you would like to ask again, please do mention. Okay. I'll wait for a while for your questions if you have any more. What is the estimated salary package for all these careers? It's a range, and Sumnama, so the ranges can be anywhere between 4 to 15 to 20 to 30 to 40 or whatever lakhs of figures that we have in mind. But that's not a very helpful answer, isn't it? Such a big range. So the salaries depend on a lot of factors. uh, it depends on at what level you're joining, what kind of companies you're joining, and what all skill sets that you're coming up with. When, let's say, with 2 or 3 years of experience, you are switching into data science, you can expect to start anywhere between 4 to 8 lakhs per annum, depending upon. So when you're joining, not only your skill set matter, your communication skills might matter, your education background will matter. And my general suggestions therein that being don't be too worried about at what salary I will start. At the very beginning of a career, whether you're fresher or you had 3 4 years of experience, if you want to make it into data science, focus more on getting your foot in the door. Doesn't matter where you start, whether you're starting at 4 lakhs per annum or you're starting at 8 lakhs per annum or 10. Once you have made your way into the field, there is no looking back. Okay. So first focus should be on getting your foot in the door, and then worry about making advances maybe after spending a year or so in that organization. Okay. So let me start with what all courses that we offer and what comes with them. And then again, if you have any questions, I can entertain them. So there are a couple of courses or programs that we are offered that have courses in them. Starting with advanced certification in AI and ML, that is in collaboration with IIT Kanpur AI and ICT Academy. This is meant for people who have some technical background, even if they do not have uh, as part of their work, they do not have programming part of their work, that's okay. But if they are coming from some technical background, BCAs or engineers, this is an ideal place to start for them. We start with machine learning in Python. Then we have data analysis in SQL and deep learning AI course as part of this. And uh, we have 150 hours of learning and a lot of assignments and projects, focus being majorly on the to do part of it. It's not all theoretical in nature. And it's not that you just take the course and simply you get the certification. We are not one of those kind of institutions. Focus is on that you'll get the certifications once you have proven your learning, and we facilitate that during the course and after the course also. And you'll get the certification after I mean, a couple of projects which are given to you, and you have to complete at least one or two out of them. The next course is, which is more suitable for people who are coming from non-technical backgrounds and they want to start working with data. That is Advanced Certification in Data Analytics. That is also in collaboration with IIT Kanpur, RIA, and ICT Academy. And we start there in business analytics and R. Between R and Python, in many years of training people, in my experience, R is much more easier to learn. It starts with more like Excel in terms of usage. Of course, there are programming elements to it, but it is much easier to master in comparison to Python. And to begin with, my suggestion will be to start here. This also contains discussion on SQL and contains data visualization part. It is a much simpler version, and we generally suggest non-technical people to start here and bring in their domain knowledge if they're coming with some work experience, and then evolve and figure out in future if they want to further upskill themselves. There's a slightly shorter course, shorter program, 90 hours of learning and projects. And this also has a similar evaluation criterion as the other course that I mentioned. Then there is a program offered in collaboration with the UPA's Dehradun University, that is PG program in data science, and this is uh, brings in both predictive analytics in R and machine learning in Python. This also includes domain specialization taken by uh, professors from the university, and includes data analysis and SQL, having similar evaluation criterion. Then there is much more broader coverage course, Certified Artificial Intelligence Specialist, which we start with predictive analytics R, and data visualization and Tableau, and data analysis and SQL are self-paced version of them. And then we have data science and machine learning in Python, and we finish it off with discussion on AI and deep learning also. There's much more expansive program, I would say, cover a lot of things, and much larger duration also, as you can see, and more number of projects that you have to complete in order to get the certification. Then there is data analytics specialist program, which is very similar to what we offer with ITK, but it is available without ITK certification. Will be slightly uh, less in terms of cost involved. Now, you'll find these programs being offered in one or the other way by other institutions also. Why should you go with Advancer? What kind of differentiation which comes with Advancer? You can see that there is a very uh, expansive amount of content that we have for you to go through. There will never be dearth of things to learn. You might run out of patience or energy to learn things. You will not run out of content that we give you at Advancer. And this content is not theoretical in nature. We also conduct many industry trainings for the organizations that I will mention again, for Deloitte, PwC, NY, G, many of those companies which also partner with us for their placements. So we do these sessions with them for their own teams which are currently working on data science projects. The same curriculum that we have for corporate trainings for these organizations is the one that we offer here. So focus is more on that once you're done with the course, you can hit the ground running. You don't have to be trained again when you join an organization, and that's another reason that organization prefer to hire from us, because they don't want to train the individuals again for their projects. There will be some trainings for the kind of project specific training, but not on the tools all over again. And the next thing is we provide continuous job assistance. So we do realize that some people will uh, maybe take a month to get a job, and some people might take 6 months to a year to crack an interview. Our focus is more on, we'll keep on sharing job opportunities with you, we'll keep on working with you in terms of mock interviews, giving you assistance into any problem posed to you. And that is what we can. We are not one of those institutions which will tell you that will guarantee a job and take your money, because guaranteeing a job in is not in our hand. What we can do is we can share opportunities with you, and it will take you a while to figure out what it takes to convert a job opportunity into a real job, and we want to be part of that journey, and we will be until you get a job, and that is what we guarantee. Another thing is the faculties that we choose, as you can see, like Prashant, people who come with some industry background, so that the knowledge that they're imparting comes with focus on how you will use it in one day to develop real business solutions. Not that, okay, this is the theory of predictive modeling, these are the few lines of code, and now we are done with the course. The discussion throughout the course will focus on how you will be practically using it, what are kind of pitfalls that you might run into, and how will you present these solutions to your stakeholders. That discussion is what differentiates what Advancer offers versus the others. Another thing is that we know that it's a fairly continuously evolving field, data science, and it might happen that what you're learning today, uh, 1 or 2 years down the line, things have gotten updated. There are new tools in the market, new algorithms in the market, and companies are asking for those. At Advancer, you will have 24/7 lifetime access to the courses that you're taking. And even when the course gets updated, so we continuously do industry trainings, and of course, those trainings have to be updated according to whatever is the current demand in the industry. And those updates get reflected in the courses. So even if you had taken a course 2 years back, you can come back and go through the updated course, as we have a dedicated learning management system where you'll find all the updates and you can update yourself. So it doesn't have to be that you've learned it once and then in order to learn again, you will again have to go through buying a course or going through it. You will have access to the course and you will have access to the updated content for lifetime. As far as any, many of you will be, of course, interested in how our placement process goes. So as we say that our focus is more on job assistance, working with your CVs, working with your mock interviews, working with what kind of profile suits to you and so on. If you fail, I mean, we assume that you'll fail a couple of your first interviews. So we do analyze on what worked, what did not work. Next time when you face certain situation, how will you respond to it? So that whole discussion happens post your course completion. We send across minimum 12 to 15, many times more job opportunities per month, and you'll find a good percentage of will fit to your requirements, whether you're a fresher or an experienced job professional. Number of interviews that we do, uh, that is with companies, about 200 plus, and more interviews where the mock interviews that we personally do with participants. And among those job opportunities that we send, at least all the job opportunities end up taking one of our students, so that translates to around 10 to 15 students placed per month. Okay. And yeah, I think I have tried to cover most of the ground here. If I haven't answered any of your questions, or if you are curious about something else, please do let me know. You can also drop your inquiries to info@advancer.in later on if you have any questions. So please take note of this. You can call upon this number, or if you are in Mumbai, you can visit us here. Okay. Yeah, so over to you guys. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to field them. Over to you. Or Prashant, if you in the meantime, if you want to share something more, feel free to do somebody saying, as I'm not from maths background, will it be ideal for me to go ahead with it? As I said that the requirement of maths and stats that you get to hear or read in the articles comes more from the perspective of will you be writing research papers in AI and ML? And I don't think that is where you start your career. So at the very beginning of your career, the requirement of maths and stats is it's not a very high level requirement. You will need some bit of linear algebra, a little bit of calculus, and basics of stats and probabilities, which we in our courses cover from scratch. In order for you to cope up with that, all you need to recall is probably your +2 level of mathematics. Okay. Which one is the best, R or Python? Uh, I think Prashant did handle this, but I will also put my thought. Uh, so R is if you are any domain, any vertical will always have multiple tools which people use. It's not like everybody is either using Python or everybody is either using R. So there is good percentage of people who are using R. There is good chunk of people who are using Python, and both are very capable tool. Uh, Although when it comes to AI and deep learning applications, Python is much more popular. Okay. And from a programming perspective, Python might be a little more challenging to learn with respect to R. That is why we suggest if you're not coming from a technical background, you should start with R. And once you have made yourself comfortable there, then probably you can upskill to Python and move to deep learning scenarios. Sunima was saying, so does the course is given offline? We used to have offline classes. I'm not sure when we'll resume them. The course is online, but and the sessions happen over the weekend. The course access, so for example, when these sessions happens online, you have access to the content or the video recording of the classes, the books, and the questions, the exercises, the scripts, and the reading material, all 24/7 access you have over LMS. So offline learning also happens, but if you're wondering whether we do in-person classes in some location, no, not anymore. At least since the COVID started, we haven't been able to do that. I'm not sure when we'll resuming this. Any other queries, guys? Feel free to ask. Okay. So if not, we'll close the session here. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Prashant, for taking out time for this. We'll close the session here, and you can reach out to us at info@advancer.in. You can drop in your queries, or you can call us at this number. Again, if you're in Mumbai, you can visit us here. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, everyone. Uh, yeah,
Thanks, Lalit. Thanks,
cool.
everyone.
Sure. Bye-bye. I'll close the session now.